Guess what we are? Shouldn't be that hard. Come on now. Hot. Let me set up a chat activities. Do-do-do-do-do. So where are we? You guys. Oh. I gotta get on the right Wi-Fi network with this phone. VIP Bellagio is like the worst. Don't connect to that one. I'm just putting all my personal information, date of birth, social security number, network, hand size. What I had for breakfast, there we go. Now it's set up. Got all the setups. See how many people we got in here. 69, that's not bad. I like the number 69. Who doesn't? Oh, 72. Can you even hear me from all the way over there? It's the Bellagio. I found a nice outdoor spot. I know all these like little outdoor havens to chill out in, and I did get internet. Their Wi-Fi, the internet in town is still freaking trash. I just did a 5G check right now, and I'm getting 1.5 megabits up. You couldn't even stream in like 2009 with that. But it's beautiful look, eh? Pretty freaking sexy out here. I figured we'd have coffee and look around. Look how blue the sky is. Unlike the past couple of days where it was nothing but rain. So I figured I'd do it daytime. I wanted to see, as much as I love overcast and rain, it was like a cold rain. It's like that. Oh, for all of you who say the Bellagio doesn't have balconies and always try to correct me, up yours. Granted, the peasants don't get balconies, but if you pay for that thing, you do. Oh, you get a big old one over there. Bigger the better. Security guard keeps scoping me out. But this is like a maze. I mean, what is this, like for skateboarders or something? Blah, 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 blah. There's actually people in the hot tub, not in the pool. Yeah. So who knows where we are? Have you ever sat over here? It's by the pool area. All the birds is here. The biggest sparrows I ever seen in my entire life live here. They're so fat and healthy. But you come into the side pool entrance over by Icons. I went and got coffee. It's semi-cold, but it's still coffee. Oh, there was one of them giant... Look how big that thing is. They want to come back and chill. Be chilling. They do have music piped in here. And this you can go into... I've actually never ever eaten here. It's always closed every time I come here, but the gelato shop was open. So I took advantage of their special $9 coffee. Super Bowl prices engaged. Alright, let's sit down. Got my pack with me. This is the thing, someone asked me to point out what that was, what I was actually trying to show them. I got battery packs in there, and I can plug in a USB charging cable into there, so I can keep all my shite charged. So, yeah. All right. Let me spin this around, say hello to everyone. So we can walk around in here to a certain degree, but the music's kind of loud, so I figured let the spankage begin later. But they do have Wi-Fi 6 engaged. And I did say I was going to turn this around, right? Like that, boom! Let me get all out of your grill. I got like a corduroy dress shirt on today because it's nipply out. It's 52 degrees. Perfect. I love me some 52. $9 for coffee. Yeah, Super Bowl prices have been engaged. That's a little better. And I shaved most of my hair off again. It was getting a little long. I was feeling like a hippie. Now I de-hippified myself. The balconies do look nice. All right, we got 130 people now. And let me say hello to everyone. This guy comes out here and cleans like every 5 minutes because the birds shit everywhere. That's why they're saying, don't feed it, don't feed it, don't feed it. There isn't a better guy than Bror. That caught my eye. Thank you, Kyle. I do appreciate it. And you're freaking awesome, too. All right, let's do some hellos. Mary says she's looking forward to a daytime. I just had to do it. I just had to do it because, you know, it's been rainy. We haven't had much success with streaming because, I mean, I had fun in Walmart yesterday. That was a blast. But as soon as we got outside, the whole town is lacking internet. There's just enough internet to allow you to make a phone call. They allocated all the bandwidth in town for the Super Bowl activities, but the buzz is nuts. The people are just like hyped. There's people with cameras everywhere. There's displays set up all over town for selfies, and they're going all out. Unlike, they should have done this for F1, and it would have been a better event for the people who attended and the people who were considering attending. Because you saw it when we were here for F1, although they didn't allocate all the bandwidth because they didn't need to stream that much for F1. But this is a Super Bowl. Everyone's going to be streaming. And they even have it so that your connection times out. So you can't sit there and, you know, FaceTime live for 15 minutes. So you noticed that yesterday. It's about a minute, then they reset the connection. About a minute, reset the connection. It's bad. But you can make phone calls today. Yesterday, I could not make a phone call while they were doing all this reallocation of the retail bandwidth. You know, should I call in and get like a 1 month free for the aggravation? If you call in, they will do it. I'll be like, you bastards. But I had to come see what's what. But the town is looking cool. Looks like it's about to rain again. Let's see who else is here. Mary Janice, Val Marie, Joe Q, Maria, Tom Max, Sony, Rapid Dog, Angry Swede, Mr. Vacation. What did you just hear? You're just here because you're not somewhere else. I know how to take that. No, I know how to take that. You're awesome. Sylvia, how you doing today? Those birds put you to work, huh? That's I saw you out here like 3 times already. Them birds aren't playing. I know. They're the biggest sparrows I ever seen in my life. They're giant. Giant things take giant poops. Who else is here? Scott, Tom Helm. Did I say Venus already? No, it does look Tuscany-ish, doesn't it? Yeah, like kind of. I mean, if it wasn't for the birds shitting all over there, it's kind of nice to see birds in Vegas. There's rarely any birds. Sherry Allen. Daniel is here, was here, something like that. Yeah, Cafe. Sylvia, you know your stuff. Yeah, right by Cafe Gelato. That's where this came. That's where this $9 coffee came from. It's usually like 6 or 7. So there's like a 30% dig on it. Let me get back to saying hello to people. It is actually good though. That angry, that was not me on top of the sphere, but props to him, you know. Dude woke up in the morning and was like, you know what? I think I'll climb this sphere. You can be anything you want in America. If you want to climb the sphere, climb the sphere. If you want to be president, be president. If you want to be a bum, be a bum. You can achieve anything you want. If you want to climb the sphere, you can climb the sphere. Just have your bail money ready. It is beautiful. Doesn't it look nice out here? I mean, I don't know. Excuse me. Hickory dickory dock. Carl and Dawn. All right. But I had fun yesterday, except when we started ganking out. I was like freaking out. I don't know how much they picked up, but it was like every 4 words, it would gank and then reconnect, and I was just like, I was like cursing up a storm in between the gankages. You hear the planes going over the, what do you call it? The helicopters are flying real low, doing radiation checks. You know why? I don't have to describe that. You know, mushroom clouds. They don't want any mushroom clouds this weekend. But it's a trip. It's a trip. Like it's dawning on me. It's starting to settle in that the Super Bowl is actually going to be in my freaking backyard. It's kind of trippy, you know. And the people who are here are, you know, way more hyped than the F1 crowd. F1 crowd was like subdued. But like I said, if you walk through these places, you wouldn't know what was going on outside. They're fatties. Look how fat they are. Look at this guy. Did you ever see a sparrow that fat in your life? Wait, hold on. These guys are fatties. Look at them. They are invasive species. I think in every state you're allowed to just pop those off at will. Because they are an invasive species. But look how fat they are. They're living the life over here. Let's scope them out. Like that guy just cleaned the table, and now it's gonna crap all over yet again. What up, Kyle? Member for 30 months. You are the OG, bro. Alright, how come that didn't show up in my stream activities? Oh, that now it showed up. To all the Bror Nation family, an appreciation to you, bro, for all your hard work. Looking forward to April. Yes, I'm looking forward to April too. I forgot to put a link to the Bror Nation get-together in this video. By the time I get home, it'll be in the video. But tickets are selling, so I'm pleased to announce that. So don't wait until the last minute, because you have to be paid up within 30 days, and it's April 22nd, so that puts it at, let me do my math, March 22nd, so it's like 6 weeks away. So if you intend on coming, get on top of it. Getting tickets, that is. Keep your eye on the sparrow. I don't know what they're eating. They're eating like roids or something. They're on the human growth hormone. They're like this big. They're like half the size of a pigeon. They're crazy. But there's selfie spots set up all over town, like everywhere you go, on properties that have, you know, for all intents and purposes, nothing to do with it. I passed the Rio. The Rio is using that property, which if the A's are gonna go anywhere, they should be at the Rio and just knock that shit down and build the stadium there, because that would cause the least amount of problems. They're using their entire lot, which is like 50 acres. It's probably 100 and something acres. It's giant. For buses, there's maybe 300-400 buses that are gonna be used to like shuttle people over to the stadium and everything. It's gonna be nuts. Yeah, they probably are eating McDonald's fries. They're eating something extraordinarily unhealthy. Has to do. Oh, that could be it too. Maybe them sparrows is irradiated. When I came out, there was like 10 of them sitting on that first table right in front of the sign. That would have been the best freaking picture ever. But, you know, I'm not like 14 years old where I always have my camera out, you know, ready to take pictures. If I did, it would have been the coolest picture, because it was like 10 birds and there was one sitting on top of the sign that said, "Don't feed the birds." it was kind of cool, and they were like shit all over the place too. But yeah, they're freaking irradiated. I grew up being ignored by my dad because of football. He held a grudge for a long time. I posted something extraordinarily butthurt controversial in, what's going on, Ron? In the Bror Nation Facebook group, which I am going to be, on the new platform, gonna have our own groups there and different subjects and all the rest of that stuff. I'm gonna be posting a lot over there. You know, I mean, I'm still gonna be posting on the Facebook group, but I'm still gonna, whatever. I posted that thing about, oh, you want to hear it? All right, you want to hear it real quick? No, I know what you want to hear. Besides me clearing my throat from all this damn freaking air, I know exactly what you need to hear right now. You need to hear something like Bror Fredrik coming at you with another video live from the Las Vegas Strip, and I'm gonna invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again. That's flattering, like, which is 5 times a week. And if you want to support the channel, super chat while I'm live is the best way about going about doing that, at least within the next 90 minutes. And I got links and I got stuff, and you know what to do. My channel is fan funded. That means by you, which I do appreciate because, you know, YouTube. I'm always in the doghouse with them, so it is what it is. So thank you. Want to listen to that video? Want to trigger some more butthurt? Let's see what the butthurt is. Let's see what the level of butthurtness is. Oh, however, I did show me making some ice cream. The ice cream, yeah, I made, what did I make? Peach ice cream with chocolate chip. Well, not chips. I took a chocolate bar, 90%. I freaking chopped it up with my knife. All right, you ready for this? All right, I want to hear your opinions. Hold everything.
All those people on that team, your team.
All right, you ready?
They might be yours.
This is gonna butt hurt some people.
You ready for this? Football game. Broke people watching a football game. To me, that is as dumb as a box of rocks. For a person to be broke and watch a football game, or a basketball game, or a golf tournament, or a rig. Broke people watching a football game. To me, that is as dumb as a box of rocks. For a person to be broke and watch a football game, or a basketball game, or a golf tournament, or a rig. You're watching somebody else win when you're losing. How could that possibly be interesting to you? Unless you're studying how to win. And then you're delusional enough to call those people on that team your team. They might be your team, but you ain't their team. Is that what you said? Am I swinging too hard first thing in the morning? Marion, don't you want to see them? No, I want to see them. I want to be them. I want somebody watching me play games for money on TV. That's what I want. I'm broke and I want to watch somebody play, get paid $30,000 to play a game, and I'm broke, trying to figure out how to pay my light bill. But I'm getting excited because my team won. No, you are making your team lose because your real team is your family.
So what do you think about that? I don't know how much butthurt that is, because people don't like telling me when I'm offending them, you know. But I can tell. I can still tell regardless. Now, if you understand the heart behind that, okay, it's not about. This is kind of cool. I feel like I'm at the beach. It's not about, okay, he said, what did he say? He said he don't understand how broke people are so involved in sports. Well, if you know the history of, like, from right after World War I, it's in theory that if we push sports, gambling, and alcohol on the average person, it will keep him sedate and compliant, and it'll keep him from rocking the boat. That was proposed like 100 years ago, right after World. That was a drive-by by one of them friggin' monster sparrows. Another one. That was proposed. Now, they've combined all three, and people don't realize that. That's actually a plan that was put into place 100 years ago. Give them sports, give them something to feel connected to, and slightly disconnected from the nuclear family. I mean, how many, football widows are there? But now women are on board with the stuff too, It's like, if you can't beat them, join them, and get to see dudes' asses, But gambling is another one, and alcohol. That was all thought through. So what he's trying to say is, for broke people to be watching sports is like, and this is a weird conversation for Super Bowl week. However, he's like, they're not your people, like, do you think, okay, you go and buy a t-shirt of your favorite, a jersey of your favorite player. Is he wearing a jersey of you? What is this dude, why, I don't understand, like worshiping sports figures and movie people and all that type of stuff. That always went right over my head, However, I don't begrudge anyone from making as much money as they possibly can in this life, That's up to everyone. But it's not about the money. It's not about how much money people spend being sports fans, buying the jerseys, buying the tickets, buying whatever, all the NFL package and all this other shit. It's more about time. Now, just hypothetically say that you watch, and I'm not calling anyone out, I'm just telling you how my brain thinks. I finally found another human being who thinks about it the way I do. Which, that's why I had to post it. I was just like, really? I thought, everyone's always telling me I'm nuts, until I find someone else who's equally nuts. If you go ahead and calculate the time spent following sports, all right, let's say on average, you're into your basketball, football, baseball, and whatever other sports. I'm kind of into sports. Like, I like a good fight, but I'm not gonna, like, really go out of my way for it or anything. I'll watch it on Facebook. Someone, like, streams it or something. Other than that, well, I'm doing something else. So let's just conservatively say 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week times 52. Let's do it by the month. Let's say 40 hours a month. These birds like zipping by. This guy's already getting pissed off behind me over here. He's just like, you're talking about me. So everyone's coming out here now. They think I work for CBS. I'm talking about like something important. Well, actually I am. So let's just assume 10 hours a week. Let's assume 40 hours a month. That's a week. That is a week. A week's worth of time. And over the course of a year, that's 3 months worth of potential salaried work. Potential, why is everyone coming out here now? Because they saw me out here. I was fucking alone. It's like everyone's out here. Go away, this is my spot. In 3 months of 40-hour work weeks, you could have increased your knowledge about something. You could have got, on your way to a degree. You could have started a business. You could have, and the operative word is broke. That's the part that people miss. Because I did get some pushback on that video. If you're broke and then you're like, I don't have time for nothing. I don't have time for this. Go back to school. I don't have time. As you're watching the big game. There is time. You have time. Can't go to the gym. But you can sit for 5 hours and watch a sports game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll probably watch the Super Bowl. But, that's once a year. It's more about the event than anything else. So you do have an extraordinary amount. You have 3 months. If you're a sports person, you have 3 months of unpaid time that you're applying into something that isn't paying you, that isn't being reciprocated. Like, how are they reciprocating that? You get, like, exuberant when your team, quote unquote, wins, and you feel like shit when they lose, but other than that, how is that time reciprocating you? Now, I know what some people are saying. They're probably saying something like, but, you know, you gotta relax, and, you know, I use it to unwind, and, you know, it's escapism. It comes in many forms. You know, can't all be about work, yada, yada, yada. I get all that, but don't complain you're broke. Don't complain about anything. Don't complain about money if you're willing to trade the hours of your life to relax, because you're making your own bed, you know? I'd rather relax when, you know, I got 7 figures in my bank account. You know, that's when I plan on relaxing, when I got 7 figures in my bank account. Then I'll chill until that day. I ain't got no chill. You know, my relaxation used to come from the gym, that hour and a half a day, you know, and even that was a profitable thing. Even that was reciprocal. I invested my time. In return, I look good naked. You know, it's the bottom line. You gotta invest your time in reciprocal things. You think any of these players? I don't even know which teams are playing. With Chiefs and 49ers. Do you think they care about you? Do you think they care whether you lose your house? These birds are just like chum 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 chum. They're back on the don't feed the bird table. Do you think they care about you? You think they care whether you're getting a divorce? You think they care whether you're eating ramen? Do you think they care anything about you? Of course, you know, when someone wins, they're going to go, oh, thank you to our fans who've been there to support. They could play in a vacuum. Your support of them means nothing other than they could buy new cars that you'll never drive and do things you'll never do and go places you'll never afford to go. That's what your support means. So when they thank you for the support, that just means we thank you for funding us, funding our lifestyles, our extravagant lifestyles, for taking off of your table and putting it on mine. That's what they're thanking you for. Other than that, what is your support? They're feeding off the energy of, yeah, go, touchdown. Are they feeding off that? Is that what's making them win? No. They're thanking you for every time you buy a jersey, they get a little richer and you get a little poorer. So it's not a good reciprocal trade of your time, because time is the only commodity in this world that once you spend it, you'll never get it back. I got like 40, 50, maybe 60 bucks in my pocket right now. If I pull my keys out and it goes flying, the wind blows it down the block, it's gonna suck, but there's more money to be made, you know? There's more money I can make, you know? That's not the end of it. That's not the finite supply of money. However, time is finite. If you don't spend the time as if it were money, like if it was the most precious thing in the world to you, you're never getting it back. You are never getting that time back. So when do you start? When do you, oh, tomorrow. Well, you know, like what is common today for people to say, I just don't have time. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time for this. I don't have time, so I'm gonna pay DoorDash to bring me that shitty cheeseburger. I don't have time to change my own oil, let alone know how. So I'm gonna just go to Jiffy Lube, you know? Really? Really? But you have time to sit in front of the TV set for frickin'. How often do you sit in front of the TV set or in front of whatever? So, but see, that's why I try to do something a little different. I'm trying to provide commentary that might be informative and educational and eye-opening and motivating. You know, I like shining the light into the dark corners of our minds in this world. you know? So this is an hour and a half well spent. Sitting in front of the TV, cheering on dudes who don't give a shit about you. Are they coming to your funeral? If you die, are they gonna support your wife? Or is she just gonna like be homeless, you know, once she loses your income? Do they give a shit? You know? No. That's all I'm saying. I'm not just being pragmatic AF. If that causes a bummer, it just is what it is. I'm not saying don't get involved with it, but operative word being, if you're complaining about shit in your life, that you don't have time, that you don't have money, and that you're still driving the hoopty, and everyone else is passing you in life, and you can't afford to come to Vegas the way you used to afford to come to Vegas, and you're not doing anything about it, and you're just giving your time away to people who don't even give a shit about you, that's on you, you know? I could probably say with tremendous confidence that the house I own is probably, I wouldn't say, I'm not making a correlation, this is an analogy. I would say the house I own is a direct result of not being into sports. Not being into sports paid for my home, you know? Because think of all the money I saved, think of all the time that I've saved in my life, just not being like that into it. Like I understand it, you know, touchdown, field goal, offsides, I know all the shit, I'm a dude, you know? But I couldn't tell you the name of anyone because I don't care. What the fuck do I care about the name of a wide receiver on a football team? Unless it's coming to my house. You know, I don't give a shit what his name is or what his stats are or any other damn thing. What kind of car he drives. He's just another dude grinding out a living just the way I am. I'm not going to frickin' remember his name because he don't remember my name. That's just me. But I can confidently say I probably saved, you know, that amount of money in my life, you know, to buy my home. You know, pretty cool, right? But people don't think about stuff like that. That's me, I'm just crazy. Maria with the super chat. 5 bananas, I gotta give that a heart. Thank you very much. So I wanna hear your opinion. I'm not like ragging on anyone because if you got your money right, spend your time however you want. But spend it on things that really matter. That's all I'm saying. You know, spend it with your family. Teach your kids, teach your grandkids. Hug the one you love. Not boots with the one you love. You know? I mean, you're gonna turn around, bam. Life gone. Faster than them sparrows flying over my shoulder. You know? So, that's all I'm saying. But if you don't got your money right, and you're sitting back, can't afford this, price of everything. I mean, I'm complaining too, but, you know? If you're broke and you watch NFL religiously, you're dumb as a box of rocks. Let's see. All right, now I gotta catch up on comments. Let me see what all you gotta say. Because that wasn't a tirade. Like I said, I am not twisting anyone's onions about it. I'm just saying, you know, let's just put it in perspective here. Pay attention to your family. Yeah, it's just, but. Okay, Steven says, you know, sports are just a distraction, a stupid distraction at that. Like I said, it was engineered right after World War I. Just check it out. Check it out. The powers that be at that time said, you know what? We got all these angry people who are in trenches. I mean, just look at, like, I've learned a lesson from Peaky Blinders about all those people coming back from World War I, and you want to talk about PTSD, they freaking had it in spades. Why do you think they were like whacking people with Tommy guns like it was going out of style? Because they lost, absolutely lost, the value of life, the value of other human beings was lost on them, because that was the last true hand-to-hand combat, life or death, hand-to-hand combat that this planet has ever witnessed. Now, there's been other conflicts since World War II, horrendous, but it was not fought hand-to-hand. Yes, there was hand-to-hand combat. Nam, of course, Korea, yes, there's always going to be hand-to-hand combat. But World War I, dudes were still frickin' running into trenches and beating each other over the head with maces and clubs and bayoneting each other and like covered in, you know, this other dude's frickin' stuff, you know what I'm saying? It was the last, I'm gonna get right up in your face and I'm gonna stick this thing in your body and cause you to no longer exist. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And then while you're doing him, some other dude's doing you. That was horrific. That was the last true hand-to-hand fought battles. Yeah, the brrr, you know, and all the rest of that, yeah. But trench warfare, some jacked up shit. So the powers that be right after that were like, we got a bunch of angry MFers on our hands. How are we gonna contain these people? And they're freaking twisted. And they came up with, let's legalize gambling, let's make sports a thing, and, you know, of course the alcohol, but then, you know, prohibition, yada yada. Prohibition was only because they couldn't make any money off of it. And now you add on top of that 420. I never in my lifetime, I literally drive by signs. Hello, invasive species, how are you? Can't see the invasive species. I've never seen them that big. Wow, the sun's like all up on the grill. Mid-teeth grill of fly. Ooh, that's bad. I never thought in my lifetime I'd be driving down the block and passing giant billboards that say $10 for an eighth. That's what I say. They're all over town. $10 for an eighth. I never in my lifetime thought I would see that. And I'm not saying that, you know, if you indulge in 420, you know, that's wrong or this and that. I mean, I've done it in the past. I know what it's like or whatever, but I see it on billboards with kids passing, with school buses passing under a billboard that says $10 for an eighth. What the actual fuck? You know, what clown world are we living in where they can put that up on a billboard, you know? But again, all by design. During the shutdown, my business was deemed non-essential. They shut me down. Under threat of arrest, if I continued doing my business, they would first suspend my business license and then arrest me. So under threat of arrest, I could no longer provide for myself. They took that away from me. They were like, you will starve to death. You know, fortunately, I had money saved and whatever, and I'm still freaking living off, you know, my savings. You know, I was like, well, on my way to retirement, if I'm totally honest. I gotta find some new light. However, what did they say was essential? What did they make okay to do? Deliver alcohol and deliver 420 to people's houses. They made a special exemption so that you could pick up the phone and be like, oh, you got them $10 eighths? Okay, send 5 of them over. And you know what? A box of wine too. Because that was essential. You don't think this is all by design? I'm just in the mood to talk about stuff like that. But I literally drive past signs along with buses full of children with signs that say $10 eighths and where to get them. This guy's tired of hearing my bullshit. He's like, I'm out of here. It feels like I'm talking to him personally. All right, that's better. All right. Loud ass stairs. But it's by design. They were like, if we keep them inebriated, if we keep them, distract them with sport. There were no sports teams at that time. I mean, they had that with the leather helmet, below, all that other shit. They're like, let's make these games into something, and then it'll distract the people. All right, you don't believe me? Look at the Roman Coliseums. Professional sports, the mentality behind the government push for professional sports, and it's the government, let's not get it twisted, and betting on them, and drinking at the game while you're betting on them. So they combined, the three angles of that, that agenda of distraction into one. It goes back to the time of the Coliseum. Because, granted, we're not getting, we're not paying to watch people get eaten by lions. But if we could, we would. If we could, we would. And you know it, and I know it. We're not paying, men to dismember each other. If we could, we would. So what do we have instead? We have professional sports. And that's our modern day Roman Coliseum, because it's the same mentality of the upper echelon. Let's give these peons something to be excited about, something to cheer for, something to look forward to, something to bet on, something to distract them from their miserable peon frickin' lives. And then they won't look at us. And then they won't pay attention to all the shit that we're doing, because they'll be paying attention to Gladiator Marcus Maximus III chopping people up, and they won't figure out that we're effing our own children and stealing everyone's money. What? How come a sports star can get arrested for driving 150 miles an hour and ending someone's life and get out with like probation? And if you did it, you're done. And you're telling me that there's nothing behind it? Please. How come they can get arrested for like beating the crap out of their wives, and then Sunday they're playing? Oh, they got reprimanded. Ooh, they got suspended 2 games for beating the hell out of their wife on an elevator. And the whole world gets to see it, but we still like, oh, but he's the best, touchdown. I don't know. You tell me. You're telling me it's not organized? That it's not, this isn't like agenda driven? Am I getting all, I gotta make a tin hat. But it's not tin hat level stuff, it's real. It's real AF. It is real AF. All these sports people, they're just modern day gladiators, and whether they know it or not, they're enslaved to the man too. It's no different, the gladiators of Roman times. All right, they'd be like, all right, you killed, Gluteus Maximus today, and all the crowd cheered for you. So we're gonna give you two chicks you can knock boots. Oh, you're into boys? All right, 2 of them too. Whatever. Oh, we want all 4? Go for it. And we'll give you some steak. But you still belong to us. And if they got in trouble, their masters would get them out. Just like the masters who run the current day sports figures will get them out. Oh, you ran over a child? You got caught drunk driving 7 times? No worries. We'll get you back on the court by tomorrow. Really? What if that was you and me? Do you think we got the juice to get out of things like that? Fuck no. We'd be screwed, blued, and tattooed. And we'd be like sleeping with Bubba. Ms. Google says, tell it like it is. Well, thank you. Thank you for the 20 banana rounds. That show of support. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, people are even saying that the frickin' this whole Super Bowl thing and the whole frickin' I didn't even watch the whole story. That the tie-in with what's her name? What's that dumb frickin' one-leg frickin' thing on a cube? What's her name? Swift something or other? There's so many conspiracies flying around how, this is all tied into that. She pumps out some of the most satanic freaking symbolism that I've ever seen. And I've studied that stuff, unfortunately, but I wanted to know so you don't have to. She pumps out some wicked symbolism. All the Swifties, yay! You know what the one-legged freaking costume she wears means? I can't even talk about it. You know what standing on a cube means? You know what red shoes mean? She pumps out the most wicked content. But people feed their daughters to her like it's nothing. I mean, feed my daughter. Maybe she can grow up and be just like her. Feeding the children. Alright, I'm demonetized. Now I can just keep saying whatever I want to say. But the tie into the Super Bowl, I really haven't delved into that. But there is some, there's something to it. I don't know exactly what it is. But there's, the whole world needs to know. Will she make it? Oh my God, will she make it? Will her plane land and who fucking cares? That's what's important in life? What about your children's grades? We're gonna idolize people. What is idolatry? We're gonna, Taylor Swift, oh my God, Taylor Swift, and we wanna know who she's fucking and when, and who cares? Worry about your sphere of influence. Worry about what's impacting your life. We'll put these people on pedestals and whatnot. As the stuff that they teach the children, a Swiftie. Oh, it sounds so nice, like Teletubby. Swifties. Not the Swifties, but she is the ringleader. If you don't believe me, do your research. They're gonna black ban me. Damn. Yep, you cannot say it here. I'm gonna check out your comments while we have people. Oh yeah, you need to have. Well, you don't even have to have lots of money. You just have to know people with lots of money to buy you out of shit. I mean, you think their legal fees are coming out of their own pockets when they get arrested for the 9th time for drunk driving or beating up their wives or whatever? I don't think so. I'm getting commercials. Wow, these chairs are freaking annoying. What's this commercial for? Grip 6 Peak Comfort. Grip this. Alright, I think I missed something here. Nope, I'm good. But that was what was on my mind. Oh, now the light is really flattering. maybe I'm being blessed from above for speaking. You got a Granger's ad? Let's see. Yeah, bubbles. Like, okay, if you say, holy cow, what the actual F is that? Wow, that was a crazy bird. This is size that thing. You look pissed too. Like when I get my own platform, I'll probably tone down what I say over here because I gotta keep YouTube. There, it's an invasion of the invasive species. What up, bro? I'll probably tone down a little bit because, yeah, I mean, I don't want to burn the bridge here. But once I'm on my own platform, I'm not going to give two shits about anything. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like Disturbed too, you know, Alan. I like stuff, but I'm just not like, oh my God, do you know he was born in 1956 and he's a Sagittarius and his wife's name is June and he drives a, who fucking cares? You know? All right, play me a tune. You know? Cool, play me a tune, you know, in the background, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta research this guy Dave. I mean, I respect him and understand him, but is he researching me? And being like, Bror Fredrik, he's this and that, I gotta meet him. That's idolatry for all intents and purposes. You know, when you're putting people up on pedestals, especially if the pedestal's higher than the one you're putting yourself on. You know what I'm saying? Put your own damn self on a pedestal and your loved ones. And try not to get knocked off it. But if you're putting other people and things on a pedestal higher than what you're willing to put yourself on, you gotta do a checkup from the neck up, yo. That's all I'm saying. Have I ever had a tan? Yeah, I get dark. But the older I get, the less I tan for some reason. I used to get like this color. Like I used to get dark. I kind of liked it, but you know, I don't really go out in the sun anymore. I was more, you know, I was very outdoorsy when I lived in New York. You know, I was like always fishing, pew-pewing, and just being outdoors. You know, keeping the property up was enough. Like the place I own now, it really requires no maintenance. You know, it's all rocks and shit. There's no cactus, but it's all rocks. It was what do they call that? Xenoscape or something like that. So it's like real no maintenance involved, so I'm not outside anymore. You know, and I've been protecting my skin because of all the time I've spent in the sun doing live streaming. You know, I was noticing it like, you know, getting pretty freaking beat up. So I do try to like protect my skin, you know. Shout out to T. Shanley, because T. Shanley's got the it's got the SPFs in it, but the good SPFs, not the chemical SPFs. Well, let's see. Who's Ray? What? Ray and Sand? It's like a meditation card. That's why I do want to, that's why I'm like kind of enamored with the artificial grass, because I would love to walk out and walk in grass and like artificial grass. I don't have to frickin' mow. I haven't done enough mowing and shit. Yeah, I mean, I've done all that stuff already. Now I'm, you know, whatever. Alright, let me refire up the chat. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just being raw, you know? And I don't care. I mean, you don't have to agree with me. You know, watching me or belonging to my new platform that's gonna launch. I just finished the sign-up form today, so I'm gonna deploy that. I have another Zoom meeting with some of the powers that be behind, you know, some of the software I'm using. Then I'm gonna let everyone know. Anyway, I'm digressing. Break the sand around 29. Yeah, I bet you did. What the hell was I saying? I get distracted. I think of a lot of things at the same time. What the fuck was I just talking about? Someone remind me. I don't know. Whatever. It mustn't have been that important. I had like 7 thoughts at the same time. But yeah, that'll be ready soon. And I will let it. Oh! See, it came back to me. Circled back around. You don't have to agree with me, even if you're on my new platform. You don't have to agree. It's not mandatory that everyone that, you know, is out there listening to me agrees with me. Number one, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I would like to consider myself a driving force in critical thinking to get people to think, but it's not okay. If someone teaches you math, You know what 5 times 5 is? It's 25. Or is it 24? No, it's 25. Okay, you know that. Now you can go and apply it. It's the same thing I'm trying to accomplish. It's not like I want to teach people how to think and think independently and break free from a mentality that might be holding us back, that you don't get to see, that I'm willing to take the risk of going down the rabbit hole so you don't have to, and kind of feed it to you in a more palatable fashion, because I'll be perfectly honest, the more you learn about life and the more wisdom you achieve and attain, it's more difficult to be happy. I mean, it even says that in Havamal, the ancient Viking text, the Havamal says, be careful you don't get too wise, because it's going to be really hard to be freaking happy. But, however, for me, I don't give a shit about happy. Happy doesn't mean anything to me. Happiness is a temporal feeling. Oh, I got a new car, I'm happy. Oh, someone banged a shopping cart into it, I'm not happy. Happy is so fleeting that it's not something I really think about much. Joy, despite of what's going on around me, I still have joy in my heart, I still have love in my heart. Happiness is it's like salt. If I could eat a steak without salt, I prefer that there was some salt on it, because it just wakes up the flavor. But if I don't have salt, I'm still gonna eat the frickin' steak, That's my life. I'm not, happiness is like, especially as a man, if you're focused strictly on happiness and indulging your pleasures, you're missing a boat. People are driving past you. You're like, in first gear, and everyone else is in fifth gear, and then you're gonna look back on your life and be like, what did I do in my life? Oh, I focused on happiness. I focused on work-life balance. That's for women and children. Sorry, ladies. But it is. So happiness, it is what it is. It's a temporal feeling. Joy, if you have no joy in your life, that's something you should work on. Because you could have joy in your life. You can be thankful. Thankfulness breeds joy. But again, I'm going back to what I was saying, long way around. I'm digressing like a freak. You don't have to agree with me. Just learn to think critical. That's why I like shining flashlights into the corners of things. Light, link in the description. But the metaphysical, whatever, flashlight, yeah, I'm willing to do that. And I'm also willing to say the things that people aren't, because I just don't care, I feel like God protects me. So, well, I know that God protects me. It's not a feeling. And half the stuff I come up with is coming down like this. And I know a lot of people don't like that either. Hey, Bror Fredrik, I didn't come here to hear about, God or whatever, but I'm not pushing it down no one's throat. That's on you, You want to live your life, not taking that into consideration. Then when your time is done, worms eat your eyeballs and you no longer exist and you're just a fleeting memory and nobody gives a shit about you anymore. Cool. I'm not gonna stop you, but I'm gonna speak how I feel, But I'm not ramming it down no one's throat. So you could disagree with me. I don't care. You could disagree because I like it. Sometimes I like a healthy, non-adversarial debate, or let's not even call it a debate, let's call it a conversation, a nice, friendly, non-adversarial conversation about subjects that really matter. I enjoy that. I am going to bring people on when I have the new platform going that have the total opposite opinion of me. And as long as it doesn't get personal, as long as it doesn't get like, you're the enemy because you believe that, or you don't believe the way I do. Or the other one is people who, I'm not going to entertain people who are into anecdotal evidence because that's feeble. But as long as it's not like, the other thing that I'm not going to entertain is people who are thinking about what they're going to say instead of listening to what you are saying, because I do both. I listen to people. I listen to what people say. To the extent, I don't even know where this conversation came from, but I'm enjoying it. Hope you are too. To the extent that I will not have any type of in-depth conversation with an individual on the phone or in real life, IRL, but specifically on the phone, who's multitasking. I refuse. I abso-freaking-lutely refuse. You know, if I sense that that's what they're doing, I will just, I'll convert to small talk, and then I'll just find an excuse to jet, or I will distract myself and just because I'm telling you, if you're in business, if you're whatever, if you know that the person is typing out emails or, other than like maybe I can still hold a conversation while I'm washing dishes, but if you know that like they're cleaning out their freaking closet, they're changing their oil, they're putting a freaking roof on the house, if they're multitasking while they're talking to you, number one, that's not very respectful, especially if it's business. They're deprioritizing you. But I'm a mover and a shaker. I got limited time. I got to do all this shit at the same time. No, I don't play that. I do not play that because they are not listening. Because if you have a conversation with me on the phone, I listen. I not only listen to every word that someone says, I tie it to what I said. I listen to how they said it. I listen to when they said it. And then I have a sense of the conversation. Now we're making like, okay, in person we can make eye contact and have it, and now I'm good at that, I know when someone does that. I know when someone does that. I know when someone, I study people. So I know when someone's full of shit. I know when they're being sincere. I know when they're lying. I know when they're truthful. For the most part, I'm not freaking perfect, but you can get that same level over the phone if you actually listen. And when someone else is doing other shit while they're talking to you, and you're talking about contracts and what you're gonna do and the next maneuver we have to make and who we have to hire and when we're gonna do this, and they're multitasking, that you're wasting your breath. Because two things will happen. Even if something you say makes sense, they won't know who said it. They will actually take credit for it, if nothing else. That's been my experience. They will actually be like, oh, I had this great idea. And then you're like, hey, dumbass, I was the one who told you that on Thursday. Do you not remember? Duh. Oh, that was you? So, you see what I'm saying? You're wasting your time because all you're doing is feeding that multitasking brain. Number one, you're not getting the credit for anything in that conversation. Number two, you're not getting the respect for anything in that conversation. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there analyzing. Like, that's why I cannot. People will make fun of me and say, oh, you don't like talking in the car. Over the phone in the car. Because a lot of people do. I do not. Because my mind is so focused on the conversation. I want to articulate what I want to say in the way I want to say it, in a way that I know it's going to be received based on the other. So I'm thinking, my mind is thinking. I'm just on a diarrhea of the mouth just for the sake of talking. If there's something to talk about, whether it's relationship, whether it's business, whether it's a meaning of life, I'm engaged 100%. So I don't want to drive. I will pull over unless it's like, a dumb, ridiculous conversation, in which case I'll press a button, it'll come through all 99 speakers in the vehicle, and I'll listen. And I'll just, And I'll suck it all in. But nothing gets by me because I have that level of engagement when I converse with people. And I suggest you do the same. You know, don't engage with people who don't respect you enough to stop multitasking when you're talking to them, because they're not really valuing what you have to say. I don't know where that came from. I digress yet again. I gotta make this has to be a separate video now. But, you know, going back to what I was saying, you don't have to agree with me. But I do want you to critically think, and you guys are gonna end up teaching me stuff just as much. You know, I learn from you guys. I learn from the people around me. I can learn from this freaking bird. You know, that bird had the balls to sit on a "Do not be the bird" sign. You know, I was just like, it's pretty freaking boss, bro. I'm gonna do that shit. Anyway, I'm trying to stay out of this. I'm trying to follow the sun around. What happened? Did this just gank? How come the chat's not moving? Does that make sense? Life has to be reciprocal. That's my point. I think that's why I went into that phone conversation, that multitasking conversation. Don't get involved in shit that's a one-way street. Yeah. Your time is the most precious thing that you have, is your time. Next to that is your experience. Do you ever think about that? The two most valuable things you have are your time. Number two is your experience. And to give those away in a non-reciprocal fashion, you can say, well, what about my kids? Well, maybe that's perhaps different. You want to pass on knowledge, you want to pass on wisdom, you want to pass on the things that you've experienced. But at the same time, if you think about it, why are you doing that? You're doing that so they don't make the same dumbass mistakes as you. And in return, you can watch them grow up to achieve the full potential that they have, and hopefully better than you. So even that's reciprocal. But the non-reciprocal things, I just don't. I don't do anything. It's not like, okay, all right, let me, because I just heard someone think. I heard you. Well, you know, it's all about what you're getting back. No, it's not. No, it's not, you know. If I choose to, okay, is it non-reciprocal to pass out a bottle of water to a homeless dude? No, I would consider that reciprocal, because there's such joy in the act of giving. And there's such joy. Remember, joy is more important than freaking happiness. Happiness doesn't hold a candle to joy. Joy is an inner job. Happiness is a surface job. You know, like you look good on the outside, but your guts are rotting. That could be happiness. Joy is, you know, you're healthy on the inside, and it's So, what do I get in return for helping less fortunate people? What do I get in return for perhaps imparting some knowledge to someone out there who might need to hear what I'm saying? I get joy. So I am getting something back, you know? It's all reciprocal. Now, will I be upset? Okay, I pull over and I help some dude change a tire, or help some woman change a tire, you know, in the rain. Do I expect that same dude to, when I have a flat tire, to be like, whoa, you know, I was driving from Idaho and I know you had a flat. You help me, I'm going to help you. That's not the way it works. And you don't look for that, you know? I don't look for that. I don't look for reciprocation from the same individual. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll call people. I'll be like, hey, dumbass, I helped you move 3 times. You know, I need to go pick up a TV at Best Buy. You coming? You got the pickup truck. I don't. What, you gonna tell me no now? You funny. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I will call people out on their shit. Other times I won't. But, and it's not a karma thing. Oh, it's good karma. I hope, this guy and the great cosmic cloud is going to spin around and kick me in the nuts and help me one day. No. Alright, let's see what you guys are talking about. You guys getting bored with all this philosophy? Oh, at least you covered his mouth. You guys getting bored with all this philosophical stuff? Are you into it? Yeah, joy is an inside job. It's a freaking inside job. Yeah, I didn't consider bringing out my sunglasses. The sun's just starting to come down now. I'm scared to go out and walk around because there's no internet connection out there. I told you for this week we're gonna do a lot of like indoor kind of chilling out. You people are into it? Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, but I'm squinting McSquinterson right now, but the sun is about to go down. It's gonna get dark like. Yeah, don't waste your time and experience. Do I need to catch up with it? I was invisible. What? Patty broke what? What happened? Did I get gelato at that place? No. I don't know. I make my own. Scott Jones is zizzing. Oh well. Bro, I guess you got it all figured out. So zizz away. I like when people expose the type of people they are. Active listening is a prop word. I'm reading now. Yeah, and the worst part of multitasking talkers is they will take credit for like 99% of the shit you tell them. They'll be like, yeah, like on the next phone call, you'll be like, hey, they'll be like, hey, I had the best idea ever. You're like, what? If X plus Y divided by pi is this, did you ever know that? We can make money doing that. Bro, I was the one that told you that. I even sent you a picture of it. Oh, that was you? And they'll still take credit for it. Don't do it. Don't do it with your bosses, don't do it with your coworkers, because they will take credit for your shit. But yeah, I don't tolerate people who multitask in my presence. I'm sorry. It's just, you can chew gum and walk at the same time, but I ain't dealing with, like, nothing of consequence is gonna take place when, because, oh, hold on, I'm doing this. Oh, say that again? I was cleaning my cupboard. Just like, click. Click. I don't have time to entertain that stuff, because me, and it's not because I devote my mental energy to listening to you. It's not like, hey, you're being a dick to me because I'm applying more energy into this conversation than you are. I just know it's pointless. It's not about that. I know some stuff. Interesting. I like the philosophy conversations. Then when it turns right-wing and religious is where it falls off for me. I get that. Do I consider myself right-wing? I don't think so. I think people consider me right-wing, but I'm not in the grand scheme of things. I'm not right, I'm not left. I am traditional. That's what I am. If you want to put a label on me, I wouldn't say right-wing, because I disagree with a lot of right-wing freaking weirdo shit too. 100%. There's just more to pick on the other side. I think they're more closely aligned to whatever, but so are they, No, not they. I believe the Constitution is the law of the land. I don't think that's a right or left issue. I believe the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are in place for a reason, to maintain a civil society. Does believing that that's accurate make me right-wing? Not really. I'm a constitutionalist 100%. Is that right or left? They're both tossing it in the shitter, so it really doesn't, but I believe that's the law of the land. I'm a traditionalist. I believe in traditional values, traditional family values. Does that make me right or left? I don't know. I don't associate and say, well, I'm right, because no, I just have firm beliefs. I have traditional beliefs, like, you shouldn't be sending your kids to frickin' Taylor Swift concerts so she could teach them Satanism. That's just traditional. I believe that, parents should be in charge of raising their own kids, not the public school system, indoctrinating them with bullshit. And whether the bullshit is left bullshit or right bullshit, it still falls on, that's just traditional values. I believe men have certain roles and women have certain roles. I'm a traditionalist. Does that make me right-wing or left-wing? So does the left not believe any of that stuff, or the right always believes that kind of stuff? I don't think so. I think that's just me, right down the middle. And as far as the God thing goes, I've seen too much in my life. I am the product of miracles. I am. I literally, I don't say that lightly, I am literally the product of having a spiritual influence take care of shit. I was born basically dead, so I know that who's interceding, who's interceding? Oh, the cosmic beyond or whatever. I've seen too much. I've seen too much in my life to deny it, even if I wanted to. Even if I wanted to be like, fuck it, there's no God. Once I die, I'm just gonna sit in the ground and maggots are gonna eat me. I would be lying, because I've seen too much stuff to deny it. And if people are not seeing the same, it's because you're not looking, That's how I think about it, but I don't care. If people are into it, people are not. So be it. I'm not going to hide how I feel under a bushel to spare someone else's feelings, But I'm not ramming it down no one's throat either, But I've seen way too much, that there's only one explanation for. And it's not frickin' aliens, people would rather believe in aliens and Sasquatches than God. I don't really get that. I'd rather, tie myself to that belief than thinking I was gonna rot and maggots were gonna eat me and I was gonna cease to exist forever, and just like my life was just pointless. What the hell are we doing here if we're gonna die and get eaten by maggots, Oh, reincarnation, but you don't remember? What kind of raw deal is that? Oh, I was reincarnated, but I don't remember. So, what's the point? I'd rather believe that there's something better and greater and more freaking awesome than this, rather than thinking the exact opposite, I don't know, whatever. Let's to each their own. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is this coffee's cold. What time is it? 4:22 already? No frickin' way. Yeah, people don't like the concept of a higher authority. I don't get that. Who are you going to be accountable to? See, in my life, okay, let's assume that there is no God. All right, let's play what's his name's advocate. Let's assume for a second that there's no such thing. That I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That everything that happened in my life, including still being alive, is a coincidence. It's just a big cosmic coincidence. So let's assume that there is none. Who am I accountable to? Who am I accountable to? So, if there is no God to be accountable to, then what? So does that mean I can do heinous acts? Does that mean I can be predatory? Does that mean I can be selfish? Does that mean I can lie, cheat, steal, and do all... Oh, it's getting dark and suddenly there's thunder. And do all manners of wicked shit to my fellow human being with no consequence whatsoever. So, so if God doesn't exist, so who do I have to answer to? But you can tell that people don't believe because, the walls are crumbling around us. But I'm digressing. Who are you accountable to? So why don't you just go out there and just be the biggest piece of shit that ever walked the earth? Be the next Hitler. Be the next Genghis Khan. Be the next Mao Zedong. Why not? There's no one to answer to. There is no higher power. So go for it. Be a serial KIL, whatever. Why not? Why not? If there is no one to answer to, there is no higher authority than you, so go do that. Why not? Why not? What's holding you back from being the next, Stalin? What's holding you back from firing up ovens and sticking people in them? What's holding you back? Your mom? Well, I want my mom to think I'm a good person. I want my kids to think I'm a good person, but they're thinking the same shit. If they don't believe, they're just like, sorry, Dad, you're just gonna rot and maggots are gonna eat you. So we're doing whatever the hell. So why correct your kids? Why correct your kids? Why teach your kids right or wrong if there's nobody to answer to? Why? Why bother? Why bother stopping at red lights? Why not steal everything? Steal your clothes, steal food, steal from your neighbors. There's no one to answer to. If you don't believe in God, that means you have no one to answer to. So what's holding you back? Because you want to be a good person? What is a good person? What is it? Whose opinion matters, whether it's good or not, whether you're a good person or not. There's no one judging you. You're untethered. There's no consequences, right? Okay, if you do something, maybe you'll end up in a crossbar hotel. Whoop-de-doo. So keep doing bad stuff there too. Whatever. Because there's no accountability. Because no one's going to help you. There is no afterlife. There's nothing. There's just a void. You will cease to exist. So be the next Stalin. Oh, but I'm going to be a good person because society as a whole. What do you care about society as a whole if you don't believe there's any accountability whatsoever? What do you care what happens in society? Who cares? There's no God, so who cares about society? Once I die, who gives a flying fuck about whether society just strike us with the asteroid? Who cares about tomorrow if there's nobody to answer to? And this is how a lot of people believe. But they say to themselves, but I'm a good person. Why? That's my question. Why? Why do you want to be a good person when there's no one to answer to? If I believe there was nobody to answer to, I'd be different. Trust me, I'd be different. I'd be like every freaking supervillain rolled into one. If I didn't believe that there was any accountability, that I didn't have anyone to answer, I'd be a freaking supervillain. You know, I wouldn't be busting my ass to work and try to create and try to help people. I would use people. I'd be a freaking supervillain. I'd be like people's arch fucking enemy if I believed there was no accountability. Why not? Why not? Because someone's gonna go, ooh, you're bad, and I'd be like, according to who? According to who? There's no God. Fuck it. You know? I'd be a supervillain. I'd be robbing and stealing and freaking putting all my energy into like selfish endeavors, you know? And I wouldn't care about what anyone thought because there's no accountability. So how do you function thinking like you don't have any, well, I'm responsible to what? Your kids? Kids don't give a fuck because you're teaching them they're gonna rot too. Your mom, your parents, well, they're gonna die one day. Your neighbors, your spouse, whatever. You don't wanna see your spouse? You're just gonna be like, hey, you know, we're both gonna rot. And maggots are gonna eat our eyeballs as soon as we die, so fuck it, let's just be swingers. You know, I'm hoping to see my loved ones again. I'm hoping to see my grams. I'm hoping to see all the people I cared about and still care about, you know? And I know people are waiting to see me too. You're just willing to just be like, fuck it. You know? Who cares? Fuck it. You know, we're all gonna rot. We will cease. So how do you have a good relationship based on that? So two people are getting together and being like, all right, cool. One day we are no longer going to exist. So, how do you maintain a relationship based on no agape? I don't know. How do you do anything? Just thinking like there's a big freaking cosmic void of nothingness that your very consciousness is just gonna shut off like a light switch. That's a frightening ass concept, number one. Number two, it's depressing as fuck. How do you have friends when you have a mentality like that? How do you have relationships? How do you have you function just being like the clock's ticking and one day an off switch is gonna come and everything I am, everything I had, everything I said, everyone I loved, everything that I was conscious of is just instantly gonna cease. That sucks. I'd rather live, even if God does not exist, I'd rather live with the mentality that he does. I mean, how does the quality of your life, how's the quality of your life when you know your reward is just gonna be nothing, just a vast nothingness, that your existence is just gonna be like a light switch going off. But then again, I'd be a supervillain. I'd be a freaking supervillain. I'd be a frightening MFer. If I honestly didn't have to answer to anyone. But right now, I know I need to answer. And that keeps, and you know, people say, oh, well, that's the whole concept of spirituality. You know, it's a construct to keep society in check. Perhaps it is. But it worked for thousands of years until they decided that let's suppress that and let's make the new construct sports, gambling, and inebriation. That's the new God we worship. Real talk. Let's replace a spiritual, loving God with a carnal God. That's pleasure. pleasure is your God. Okay. Okay. Well, that works out. Awesome conversation today. 53 years old, brother. Richard, happy birthday, and I appreciate you being here, spending time on your birthday, because again, going back to what I originally started to say, is that time is the most valuable commodity that a human has, and you chose to spend it here, so thank you very much. Love you, bro. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Gary, bro, evil is rewarded in the world that we live in now, more than any other time in life. Abso-freaking-lutely. Evil is rewarded. Yeah, but see, I'm not arguing, Gary. I don't want to. I feel a connection to you. I mean, we could be on opposite sides of this conversation, and you're still my bro. But okay, I just want to elaborate on what you said. Well, good morals have nothing to do with religion or any god. How can you disassociate morals? Like, what would be the purpose of a moral standard if it wasn't? What's the end game of having good morals, and where would morals come from? Morals are taught. What are the purpose of morals if there wasn't a tangible benefit of morals? Because technically, there's no tangible benefit of morals. If anything, having morals puts you up for persecution. Any truly moral person in this world is frowned upon, because immorality is valued. It's put on a pedestal. The more immoral, I mean, look around. The more immoral and depraved things are and people get, the more it's rewarded. So is there a reward for having good morals? And where do good morals come from, and what's the purpose of them, if not connected to something bigger than yourself? So good morals to just be a good citizen, so that way life completely doesn't go off the rails? Or there's got to be, see the point I'm trying to make? There's got to be an end game to it, because if you believe that there's no God and there's just going to be a cosmic freaking off button and you cease to exist, what was the point of putting in all that hard work and being a moral person? What was the point of it? Why not just be an immoral person? Doesn't matter, because if there's no one to answer to, there's really no difference between good morals and bad morals. It's a judgment call. There is no, if there's nothing to answer to, there's a reason why you want to be good, and there's a reason why you want to be bad. So what would be, why do I want to be good versus why do I want to be bad? It doesn't matter. I mean, if there's no end game, if there's no one greater than me to please that I have to answer to, it doesn't matter if I'm good. I could just be a miserable piece of shit, and so what? So what? Who am I answering to? Nobody. Oh, well, then nobody will want to be around me. Well, say that Taylor Swift, there's plenty of people around. She's pimping some pretty freaking awful shit. So is half of the people in society. All the people that everyone's looking up to are just pimping freaking terrible shit. They're surrounded by plenty of people. In fact, the more immoral you are, the more popular you are in today's society. So what's the point of being good? You're going counter to what everyone else is doing. Your life would be easier if you just sold out and became immoral. You'd be rewarded. You wouldn't suffer persecution, you know? You wouldn't, you know, you would just be like, okay, there's man's laws, you know? Do 50 in a school zone, you know, you're gonna get hammered for that unless you're a sports idol. But what's the point? You know, what's the point? I just don't get the point. If there's no, you know, what good or bad is the same thing. They're wings of the same bird if you're not flying in a specific direction. You're just like, because someone told you it's better to be good. It's really not. I mean, it is, but it's harder to be good. All right, as a good person, you have to constantly fight off temptation. Constantly. Temptation to do this, temptation to do that, temptation to cheat, temptation to lie, temptation to steal, temptation to get over at every possible angle. You gotta, as a good person, you gotta fight that shit all the time. Wouldn't your life be easier if you just gave in to every temptation? You know? Every opportunity to cheat, you took it. Every opportunity to steal, you took it. You know, and it enriched your life. So being a good person is actually hard work. So what's the point of putting in all that work if someone's just gonna flip the cosmic switch and you just cease to exist? Why bother? That's what I want. That would be my question. That's a long way to go. Like, okay, here's the question. Why bother going through all the work and all the trials and all the tribulations and all the angst and all the sacrifice and all the hardship? Because being a good person is hardship. Why go through all that hardship just to have the title of being a good person and having good morals? Why bother? That's what I want to know. Like, what are you getting out of being a good person? Like what? That's what I'm curious about, honestly. What do you get out of it? I know what I'm trying to get out of it. I'm trying to get into eternal rewards. You know? I'm racking up points for the afterlife. So being a good person and not believing there is an afterlife, what are you racking up points for? You know? What are you racking up frequent flyer miles for to an airport you don't believe exists? Just do whatever you want. So what's the point of being good? That's all I'm saying. But whatever. Bruh. Well, good is better than bad. Good always wins in the end. Yeah, it's the end game. Yeah, but win what? That's my point. What are we winning? What is a good... If you don't believe in an afterlife, then what do you win? What actually wins? So, okay, there's no afterlife, but if I'm a good person, I win. What do you win? What trophy is being passed out as you sit in a hole in the ground if you don't believe in an afterlife? It just, like, that's the part that makes my head explode, you know? Just trying to get through the day, I hear you. I didn't plan on this deep conversation, but something told me to do it. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I agree. Okay, Gary, I'm on board. Interesting way to think about it. I am being a good man because this one life is all I have, and I want to leave this place with good thoughts and people who have positive thoughts about me. Absolutely. I agree. That's my goal too. But the difference between how I think about it and what you think about it is, if you believe in, the cosmic off switch and there's nothingness at the end of your days, you will never know. whether people think you're a turd or whether people will think you're a wonderful person. And like, honestly, you're talking about legacy, and that's something that's really closely tied to, a lot of what I believe in my ancestors, because we were all about leaving behind a legacy. I mean, your goal was to do as much crazy shit as you could, that people would write freaking, sagas about you. That's why half the people, in the sagas, they did it just for that, to immortalize themselves. Because they say, oh, the longer, you keep in people's hearts and mind, that keeps you alive forever, like it's a version of heaven, sort of. Okay, but see, the thing is, you'll never know. You'll never know what people think about you. And after the people you spawned and the people you touched, they won't think about you no more, Unless you, cure cancer or do something just extraordinarily life-changing. You made so much money and you opened up a hospital and you solved child leukemia and your name's on the building. But other than that, in one generation, no one's gonna remember you, nothing. Whereas from how I choose to believe, I'm looking forward to seeing these people again. Not just worrying about, what they thought about me now that I'm in the cosmic void of nothingness, which I will never know. I will never know what they're thinking about. I'm looking forward to seeing them, I'm just like, yeah, we'll meet again, We'll meet again. And I treat people like I will see them again. It's easier to be kind to someone It's easier to be kind to someone and to respect someone who you might think you're gonna see again, in the afterlife, let's say, than not. If I believe that I'm going to the void and he's going to the void, I could just deal with him on different terms. Then, hey, I'll see you soon. Like all the people who passed in my life, I've been like, I'll see you again, just not yet. It's a little different mentality. And it's a little, even if it's not true, let's assume for a second that's total bullshit, it still makes life a little more worth living, to look to look at someone and know that one day they will not be here and I will not be here, but I'll just be like, you know what, we'll meet again. I'll see you, maybe not in this life, but I'll see you in the next. Love you, bro. Well, love you, girl. A little better approach, even assuming that it's total bullshit. A little better approach than, damn, when we die, it's just the eternal void. So, I hope you have nice things to say about me. So, I'm gonna be kind of chill with you, okay? Because I might die first and you'll have 3 or 4 months where, I want you to think nice about me. Little different edge, and that's how I choose to believe, and we're all gonna find out who's right or wrong, but in the meantime, that's just how I choose to deal with it. But like I said, I've seen too much stuff in my life to deny it. I think, people think they'd be hit with a lightning bolt if they lied or cheated or steal. I think I'd be hit with a lightning bolt if I went the other direction and said there is none, because he's showed me stuff. Just the fact that I'm freaking here, just the fact that I can look. I was born blind. For all intents and purposes, I was born blind. They didn't have miracle level freaking science and remote robots who came in and fixed my eyes. It was freaking Dr. Singh with a turban on his head. He took some freaking cat gut and stitched my eyes in and crossed his fingers. And I was blind for a year. They took the bandages off and I was just like, Damn, dude. That was Dr. Singh? I don't know about all that. There's a reason I was granted some additional staying power here. I couldn't walk when I was born. I was born crippled and blind. So I can't fuck around, you know? I think I'd be struck down by lightning if I denied that there was some type of higher power involved in what I got going on. What, am I going to take credit for it? I don't think so. Yeah, Gary, I'm digging it, bro. I mean, like I said, I'm so open to it. I just like having the conversation. I like hearing things from your point of view too, because there's two things that happen. It either softens my perspective, so I'm not a dick about how I feel to other people, you know, because I don't want to be a dick about it, or it enhances my own understanding or reinforces it. So I dig that. I dig it wholeheartedly. Let me check something real quick. When I try to walk around, I gotta freaking pee like a racehorse. Am I a robot? Yes, I am. Yeah, I should pee in my cup. Oh, you were double timed out, bro, but I am a robot. That's what she said. You a robot? Why haven't I streamed from my home studio in a long time? Tiffany, that is a great question. I've been asking myself that too. I've been so rabbit holed getting the new platform set up. Alright, good question. I'm gonna answer that. The reason why I haven't been streaming from the home studio is it's multi-pronged. One, it's actually, believe it or not, it's easier. I thought the opposite. When I first, started streaming from the studio, I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be so easy for me to just step in the studio, press a few buttons, and do a live stream. This is freaking awesome. However, it doesn't work like that. It's actually easier for me to throw on a little clothes, jump in a car, and go do a live stream somewhere. Get done and go home. Doing a live stream from the studio, I gotta get dressed, I gotta get the lighting just right. Even though it's kind of right, it changes. Like if I'm wearing a white shirt, it looks completely different than if I'm wearing this shirt. I gotta readjust the lighting, I gotta do all the testing. There's 4 computers that run everything. It's actually more work to stream from the studio than to just get in the car, turn on the camera, and just talk. I'm gonna have the same conversation, but there's a lot of work involved, which I didn't really think about that. I mean, I've been doing video and live streaming since, those stupid round cameras back in the day, the old Logitechs from like 2001. That's how long I've been streaming. But I just never thought from my perspective that would be an issue. But it's not like a huge issue, but instead of being an hour and a half, plus driving time, so let's say, 2.5 hours. If I do it from the studio, it's the hour and a half, plus probably an hour, plus probably another hour. So it is more time consuming. I think it takes me a little more to warm up, but that's on me. And people don't watch them. I mean, just honestly, people don't watch them. Okay, being that I'm talking about spiritual stuff, we're down to 113 viewers right now. If I was talking about Buffalo and goofing around on the strip, there'd be like 300 people there. People just weren't watching them, so it kind of like sucked the joy out of it, to a certain degree, that people were just like, whatever, oh, he's in the studio today, F it, and no one would come watch, and it would be like a little disappointing. Yeah, I'll admit that. Tamika with the 20 banana ramen, thank you very much. Good combo, some things to think about if you're... Tamika, love you, sis. Alright. And that's just part of it. See, I knew if I stuck to it, it would eventually gather steam, you know? But it's always been on my heart to just say F it and just start my own streaming platform. I've been thinking about this for like a year and a half, and I finally pulled the trigger on it like, less than 2 months ago. The other problem is when I stream from the studio, YT would give me way more crap about what I said. I mean, I get demonetized fairly often. Like, I'll probably get demonetized today because they don't like you talking about, what I've been talking about. They want me to, they want me to pimp for, the asshole downstairs, if you know what I'm saying, and be a degenerate and pimp degeneracy, That would make them thrilled. I would be at the top of the hit list. I'd have 10,000 subscribers a day if I sold out, but I'm not. I'm just gonna be me. So they would give me a lot of crap. I mean, they would refuse to convert my videos so that you could watch them later. So that caused me to take a recording and then re-upload it and then put it in. Then they'd find 10 things that were wrong with it. So they basically say, listen, okay, we'll let you live stream from your studio, but that's it. Once that live stream is done, you're done. We're not letting anyone else see it. And I noticed that after like 5 or 6 times that they were doing that to me, and I was just like, and they wouldn't admit it, but it was so blatantly clear. And it was, it was problematic, I mean, I'm not really making any money off of doing this to begin with. I mean, I'll make some, I'm not lying. I'm not gonna, yank that chain. I make a couple bucks. But from the studio live streams, I mean, there was like no super chat. There was no ads. It was just, and then they wouldn't show it to anyone after I was done. It was like pissing in the wind. So I think that was a final straw when I said, you know what, I'm going to just do my own platform and just not put up with this stuff. And that's what I chose to do. And it'll probably be ready if I have 2 goals, the 21st or the 29th is when I plan on launching. So I'll tell everyone that now. So 21st or the 29th is probably going to be the launch date on the new platform. And I am going to do it from the studio, because I enjoy it. And I'll probably I'll probably not do like full-blown 2-hour lives, like I'm doing right now. But if the conversation suits me, so be it. I mean, the way the new platform is set up now, too, I got a calendar. I put a calendar into effect. Like each day, like I'm gonna schedule a week out, what's taking place, this and that, what live streams, what new videos, you can click on them, you can press a button and it goes onto the calendar on your phone. And I'm putting a lot of freaking work into this. It'll tell you, the calendar will tell you when something's coming up, and so I'm like committing to, like a schedule per se. So I don't know if I'll do full-blown 90-minute lives. I might do like 3 30-minute ones. I just don't know. And I'm going to be putting there's 2 levels. There's live stream only is one level, and live stream plus all the other content is another level. So there will be 2 different packages per se. So you don't have to watch everything, but yeah, the live streaming only and then the other one. So it's going to be completely different, but I got to figure it out. There's a community group, there's a calendar, there's all sorts of shit. Like I just got today to work that, say you start a video and you start watching it and then you get distracted, the big game's on or whatever, you want to go back and watch it. Now you can pick up where you left off. That only took like friggin' 20 hours to code and figure out. So now it's like you could continue, like Netflix. I'm trying to emulate like a stream. It is a streaming platform, but I'm trying to emulate like the things that Netflix and Hulu and all them do, like continue watching. I gotta continue watching thing in effect. I'm gonna bundle together like videos, you know, like just the way, you know, they do the same. Like if you're watching The Punisher on Netflix, you can see all the related content. You know, I'm putting a lot of freaking work into this. So I am gonna go back to live streaming from the studio, but just from a YT perspective, they, for all intents and purposes, made it very difficult for me. And like I said, it wasn't all that popular, and I know eventually people would, you know, get on board and whatnot, but, you know, it became more of a meeting ground for people to, like, hang out in the chat room and be, like, you know, friends with each other and not really pay attention to what I got going on. And that became a little annoying. So I was like, you know, what's the point? But that's basically the crux of it. But I'm excited to move forward. I really, truly am. What platform are you using? What platform is going to be hosting everything? It's a combination. Oh, is that what you're asking? It's not an app per se. It's a combination of Akamai and AWS. Little you know, proprietary player and things like that. You know, and a butt ton of coding or whatever. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I put a lot of, like, I love live streaming from the studio, trust me. But it's just like, it became, well, I think YouTube has a problem with the quote-unquote podcast format. Because I think, I mean, just watch what they do. Anyone who does a podcast on YT and is perceived to be right-wing, like we were talking before, people perceive I'm right-wing, which I would not hang that sign on my chest. I'm a traditionalist and I believe in the Constitution. If that's what you want to say makes me right-wing, so be it. But what's wrong with the Constitution? You know, point something out that sucks. Anyway. I digress. But when anyone enters the realm of being in a studio, and trust me, they know when you're in a studio versus out here. Like these conversations, being that the picture isn't moving, just I'm moving, can make the algorithm think that I'm podcasting from a studio. But if I'm doing this, like I do all the time, it kind of throws them off, because all a video is a semblance, an assembly of individual pictures. 30 per second, 60 per second, 24 per second, whatever it happens to be. Their algorithm is so powerful that it will analyze each frickin' picture. Like if I put a naked chick up and just went like this, naked chick, and pulled it down real quick, they would know. They analyze every frame of the video to see if you're doing shenanigans. So they know you're in a studio, and that frightens them, because historically most people who are speaking in a studio are people like me, or people who are very right-leaning or very left-leaning, and that comes under scrutiny. If you're left-leaning, you get a pass and rewards. If you're right-leaning, you get shut down. That's how YT works. Why? That's because, you know, they lean left too. I don't consider myself leaning either direction. I have my own direction. But, you know, how they interpret it, how other people interpret it, that's up to them. So yeah, that's part of the problem. So they're like, oh shit, a podcast. Oh, apparently this guy's right-wing. He's a right-winger. He thinks the Constitution is cool. You know, that's the way they think. That's the way people think. But of course the algorithm thinks that. If the average person thinks that, then what do you think, you know, the algorithm thinks? So then they're just like, See ya. See ya, Bror Fredrik. Yeah, it's gonna be boss AF. I mean, you know, still, you know, I gotta do the right thing all the time. I mean, I still can't bypass, you know, legalities or anything, which I don't anyway. Maria Jose. Thank you, I appreciate that. You're awesome. But anyway. So yeah, it's a challenge. So, you know, what I will do, I guess I do have to say, I'm not going anywhere from YT, obviously. That would be foolish. I worked too hard and too long, and I made too many good friends to just abandon this. I don't expect, I snorted, I don't expect on any level that the new platform is going to, I'm just firing back up the chat. I don't expect the new platform to replace YT. You know, maybe lightning will strike and, you know, become extraordinarily popular, but it is a paid service. So it would be foolish for me to say, well, basically what I'm doing, if I'm 100% honest, I'm taking the money I make off of YT and paying for this. So I'm actually wiping out my income to make sure that I have a place where I could have freedom of peaches. Because that's about what's going to take place. So I'm going from making some money to making none overnight, but I'll have the other platform where I don't have to endure the mental punishment that YT can do to someone who has their own opinion that doesn't align with theirs. You know, I'm willing to do that. And if you guys are willing to support the effort, then, you know, maybe I'll get back to the place where, you know, I'm making a couple bucks off it. But for right now, I resign myself to the fact that I'm just going to take anything that's made over here and pay for over there and go to a net zero. You know, it is what it is, but that's how adamant I am about this. You know, I mean, you guys have no clue, you know, what I have to deal with YT. It's nuts. Like, the emails are probably already in my inbox, you know, I'm telling you. But you guys think I'm joking, but I've showed you. They're probably already there. Sorry. Advertisers, your video is deemed non-advertiser friendly. Nobody wants to advertise on your videos, so limited ads. But we're gonna put 150 in 1 hour, and we'll keep all the money, because suddenly we found people who are okay with it, but not for you. It's like, what? What? It's like working for a total degen boss, you know? However, I like hanging out with you guys. I will put, you know, you will hear me say things like, hey, if you want to hear the raw and unsaid, like this conversation, I am not going to have after the new platform is start. I'm not going to have these type of conversations once I start the new platform. I'm going to do my best to frickin' bite my tongue. I am. I have to. You know, I have to preserve, you know, what this is, and I have to give the people who signed up for Vegas content and follow me for Vegas content. That's just the right and smart thing to do. So whenever I feel myself going off on a tangent, I'm going to go, if you want to hear more about that, raw and uncensored, head on over to my other platform. I'm going to do it. Just like Cornhub does. If you want to see the money shot, click here. And I'm going to try to, you know, like, curtail the things that I say here. So that way I just don't imagine having a boss that you constantly have to fight with. He doesn't fire you. He just threatens to fire you every freaking day. And make your life miserable. You know? But you still get the job done, and you're still making money for him. But, you know, he's just, it's just like, every day it's just like, oh, fuck, this asshole again. Welcome to my world. But that's all gonna change. So, I will tone it down. I will make it more Vegas-centric. I'm not putting Vegas content on the other. Looks like there's a fire going on over there. I'm not putting Vegas content on the new platform. I'm just putting like everything else. And I'm still gonna talk the same amount of shit that I do, you know, when I walk around and all that type of stuff. I mean, I can't stop being me. I just gotta stop being punished for the things that I say, you know, so hopefully, you know, YT gets back to a point of profitability so it's not a net zero thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just business. And I love you guys. And I know a lot of you are probably not gonna follow me over to the new platform, so, you know, it's the only way you're gonna see me and I'm gonna see you, so I'm not gonna F that up. Because I love you guys. I honestly do. Yeah, labels blow. Somebody called me sis. It's like, don't label me. You don't want me labeling you. Why are you putting labels on me? How did that start happening? Oh, bro. Gary. I've been doing, I mean, Akamai and AWS is like the cosmic rake, the metal rake that you step on. You step on it and it flips up and goes, it's in between the eyes. I've been running tests. It's, like I said, it's going initially, just initially, it's going to be a transition of, like I said, revenue from this over to there. It's not going to be cheap. It is not going to be cheap. I'm not having AWS do the transcoding. Gary knows what I'm talking about, because that would be freaking ridiculous. You know, because it does need to be transcoded. So I'm effing around with everything. Like, I'm not going to do 4K content over there. You know, I'm not going to do 60 frames per minute. You know, I picked a subset of resolutions that I'm going to pump out. I'm not going to make universal freaking resolutions for everything, you know, just to keep those costs down. But, you know, like the first month will be extraordinarily telling, but that's why it's, you know, that's why it's a membership. It has to be a membership. There's no way in the world that without, you know, support. I mean, same thing with YT. Without the support, I'd be dead, because YT pays me like $8 to do a live stream. You know, I'm not coming out here for freaking coffee costs more than $8. If it wasn't for the super chat, I wouldn't be here. I mean, let's just be honest. So, yeah, so I'll know right away. I've been testing stuff, and yeah, but that's why it has to be a paid membership. It's not like Bror Fredrik's gonna get rich at $14.99 a month or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. Like, you understand how expensive what I'm doing is, but a lot of people will not. It is stupid expensive. Like, stupid expensive. Just is what it is. But I'm trying to keep the cost down as much as I possibly can. And the storage fees are no joke either. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I appreciate that, Gary. Yeah, you're a good man. Yeah, the 1080, I mean, honestly, if I did it in 720, no one would probably even notice. And I could probably save a lot of costs there, too. And streaming at 720, at least in the beginning. You know, a lot of storage, a lot of streaming. That would probably cut the cost by, you know, a third. But if someone popped it up on their tablet, you know, or, you know, any kind of larger resolution device, it'd be like, this guy's a clown, you know? He's streaming from 2014. So, yeah, Gary, yeah, you know the deal, bro. It's gonna be interesting. It's testing. I might let a few people on the platform pretty soon, just for testing purposes, because I mean, it's hard to test myself. You know, there's different things with different devices. I don't have every possible device. I wanna, before I make a general release, I don't want to do a soft release and promise this is coming and promise that's coming. I want to have it as tight as possible from the get-go. But there's still going to be bugs, so I have to let some beta testing is in there to find all my misspellings and dumb shit like that. Find out, what's working on what devices. I mean, I have an iPad, but I don't have a Samsung Tab tablet, so I don't know how everything's gonna look on there. Does the freaking header look all weird? I mean, there's only certain devices that I can test on. I'm testing internally on my own network, and then I'm doing some external testing on my devices, like out my front yard and stuff. It's so I will need some beta testers. So some of you might get an invite prior to. Wow, my eyes are looking stupid blue today. They're stupid blue. Is that a color? Stupid blue? Yes, sir. Can you mix me a bucket of stupid blue? Yeah. And like I said, I did that's the other thing I did today. I think I got the sign up thing to get notified when, where, when, how, why. I think I want to come back here tomorrow. I did not, I'll be honest, people, I did not plan on sitting here all day. I mean, we're going on 2 hours and 20 minutes. I really didn't plan on sitting here all day. I honestly did not. I planned on walking around. So I think we might come back here tomorrow and do it all over again. But not just sitting down. You want to do that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, I got a jet. I gotta whiz so bad, my eyes are turning green. And I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we're at the Bellagio for sure. Yeah, with the Bellagio. You want to see real quick? I'll show you. I'll show you the views. Come on, views. There we go. All the freaking giant sparrows went to bed. There's a chill spot. It's across from the gelato spot. There's some of the helicopters who are flying over looking for radiation and whatnot. That's the breakfast spot. There's the Cafe Gelato right over there. And that's where I was sitting, doing all the sits. It's starting to get a little chilly out. It feels beautiful. It's looking nice out. We can walk that way. Yeah, let's walk that. Let me gather up my stuffs. We'll see how far I can get outside. Oh, there we go. This is annoying, isn't it? I'm gonna take these napkins. These are some thick-ass napkins. Keep them in the car. Just like Grandma would have done. So I got $9 worth of napkins. Freaking $9 for a cup of coffee. I better freaking piss gold. That's the sign I was telling you about. Those birds sitting on it. That was so funny. Look at that. Thank you for not feeding the birds. And there was a bird sitting on it. I was like, you got balls, bro. Alright. We gotta keep an eye on the signal, too. Alright, where are we? We are here. They got the music cranked up so loud. Does anyone ever want to see that? The Bellagio Gallery of Fine Art. I want to see some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'll show you. I'm such an asshole sometimes. There's probably someone out there that's like, I want one. How dare you, Bror Fredrik? Do you want one of those? A feather bear? Do you want an old Goodyear that's been carved and make that the centerpiece of your living room? Do you want a frog on a Hawaiian bun hanging over your bed? Do you want a pair of plaster of Paris Timbos? Is that art? That's art. We're doomed. Doomed, I tell you. All right, so you hear how loud that is? Let me keep talking and talking and talking. Do. Oh, automaticals. We like some automaticals. Automatic door. Got cold all of a sudden. Holy. Pardon our dust. See what I told you? There is no internet in Vegas right now. It's all dedicated to the Super Bowl activities. I can barely make a phone call. Oh, what am I doing? I'm walking this way, taking it with me. Sounds pretty good coffee over there, even though I love it. Freaking yikes. Some well-dressed men, I like that. Good on this. This is a great suit place. One day I'm going to be buying my suits here. Platine, you know. That's freaking sharp. Nah, I don't know if I'm digging those pockets, though. One day. For now, I have to buy them at Sears. Sears and Roebuck. All right. Walk into the crazy ass music. So let me do this over here real quick. My chest is itchy. What does that mean? They crank the music up hard. All right, people. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I thought it was a fun conversation. I loved the back and forth. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity today on the Super Chat activities. And look forward to me going live again. I don't know if I'm going to do an afternoon one. I'll probably do an evening one because we do got to scope out the front of the Bellagio because they did do a crazy job out there. I sees it. All right, that's good enough. All right. I'm going to invite you one last time to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 2 times a week. Going to go on a sports channel. Did I just say 2? Was that something subconscious? 5. Click on links, do the stuff, and I appreciate it. And I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.